All right, so finishing off where we were, the discussion boards down here are designed specifically so that, you know that adage, there are no stupid questions? This is the place for those questions. So if you want to know a due date, or if you want anything that is regarding the more public side of the course. Obviously, if you have an issue with technology, or you're sick or something like that, send me an email directly. But if you have a question that the whole class can benefit from, then please use this discussion platform as you want to. So that's Blackboard. This is pretty much the only thing that you're going to need to deal with. And so let's go to course documents, because we are now going to go over the syllabus. There we go. Okay, so the syllabus, which all of you can review at your own leisure, is found in the course documents section of Blackboard. It was also sent kind of with links in that first email that I sent to you yesterday. The syllabus is our contract. So anything that I tell you on the syllabus, you can pretty much take as that's it. I'm only going to be telling you what I require of you in this syllabus. So, and that said, what is required of you to get certain grades that you want is also outlined here. So that's what we're going to look at today, or right now. So pretty simply, this is a 3-credit course. There's my name, there's my email address. Any questions that you have, please shoot me an email. As I said in the introductory letter, and I'll say it again now, generally it's like 24 hours, and I'll respond to you. If you're having a massive problem, I might be able to respond to you more quickly if you send like exclamation points, big deal, but don't count on that. Count on at least a 24-hour turnaround, and also Sundays, let's just take the weekends off. Okay? I might respond to you, but don't anticipate getting a response if you email me at 7 o'clock on Saturday night. So that's that. So this course description is pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to be teaching you about the history of Western art from around 1850 until pretty much the day our course ends. I'm going to try and get as contemporary as I possibly can, because that, I think, is the cool stuff, and it's much better for you to be able to know what's being made in the world today that you live in, and not necessarily things that were important in, say, 1920. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at. Right here, this is a funny little section. This second paragraph in the course description is a list of all of the periods that we're going to be studying, with these kind of big period style names associated with them. Chances are many of these are going to be completely alien to you, and so my hope is that at the end of this course you're going to read this second paragraph, and then you're going to say, oh yeah, I do know who the Fauves are, and I do know what pop art means. So course objectives: articulate better understanding and awareness of visual art. So that I know that a lot of people that take this course, given that it's a 100 level, given that it's offered as an elective, are taking it as their one liberal arts elective. And as such, I fully understand that this can be understood to a certain extent as an arts appreciation course. That's how that's how I've designed my lectures. The artworks that I show to you in these lectures are things that I've seen in person, generally speaking. And I've had the benefit of being able to travel, and when I travel I go to art museums. And so seeing artwork in person, knowing how to interact with it, knowing what it means, what it is, all that stuff, that's the meat of this course. Second thing, describe historical and contextual developments of art and artists. This is a chronology, so we're going to be going through in order. through a series of written essays, we're going to have a critical discussion about the things we're talking about. And those essays are in the assignment section of Blackboard. And then discussing the major movements, which I just said is kind of a big deal. Okay, so this book, this is your textbook. This is our textbook for this course. It's a little anecdotal. It reads a little bit like a fiction, but that said, it gives a nice survey of the important things that happened in the last 150 years. In my lectures, I'm going to beef up what Mr. Gompertz deals with, Gompertz, deals with in this. So images that he lists that I show you in lecture are very important. But that said, images that I show you in lecture that are not referenced in this textbook are also important. You're going to have to study both. And if I give you auxiliary reading, which I've done several times throughout the course of the semester, it's very, very important that you read those. There will be exam questions on external reading and the films. You have to do that additional work. The grading breakdown is pretty simple. I'm giving you a series of 6 quizzes over the course of the term. Your lowest quiz grade will be dropped, or if you miss or fail to complete a quiz, that grade will be dropped. And then I take the 5 remaining and total those out to being worth 20 points, or 20% of your final grade. The midterm is a quarter of your grade, the final another quarter. We have a research paper, which is going to be 10%, and then a string of 500-word essays are going to total up to be 20 points, or 20% of your grade. We have 6 quizzes, we're dropping 1 quiz. We have 5 500-word essays, we are not dropping those. So you have to complete every written assignment. You can fail to complete or just kind of throw or do poorly on or not study for one of the quizzes. I will say that the quizzes are designed merely to kind of keep the information fresh in your head. So they only cover 2 weeks at a time, and they are really designed to just like make sure that, you know, when we move into the 1950s, that you haven't forgotten everything that happened in the 1920s. Standard breakdown of the grade is right there. Now these next 3 things are really, really important. The technology requirements. Failure to complete any assignment due to technical or technological issues will not be accepted as a valid excuse. There are many, many, many ways for you to submit papers or do work for this course. So don't tell me that your computer crapped out and you're having problems. If you're having problems with your computer, I recommend finding a stable internet connection, especially when taking the examinations. These are big points of stress in previous online semesters that I've had. I cannot change the structure of this course enough to where we don't have a midterm or a final exam. It is incredibly important that you have a stable, reliable internet connection when you open the midterm and final exams. I'm saying that now so that I don't ever have to say it again, even though I'm going to say it again before the midterm, because I like reminding people of things. So again, if it looks like you're going to have problems with dodgy internet, send me an email and so that I'm aware of it. But don't use it as an excuse. It's very, very obvious when people use it as a crutch. Attendance and online participation. So you saw in the breakdown that attendance and participation were not part of the grading rubric. But if you fail to log in to Blackboard for 2 consecutive weeks, you will receive an automatic failure in this course. I need to know, and I will know because I track this stuff, I need to know that you are checking in to our course and that you are actually doing all of the work that's required of you, including listening to these lectures and including all of the reading and external assignments. Failure to do that will detract your grade, will detract points from your grade, but ultimately, if you miss 2 successive courses, that's it. So don't do that. The big one, plagiarism statements. I am assigning you a research paper. That means that you will have to go out and do external research. That research paper, however, is designed to be kind of a report. So we'll talk about that at a later time, but generally speaking, when you take something out of a book, even if you paraphrase it, you have to let me know that you've done that. Failure to do so will automatically mean that you failed that assignment, and there is no chance of redoing it. I'm telling you now that if you don't understand what plagiarism is, I recommend going to a writing workshop, which is there are several that happen throughout the semester on campus. I think on both campuses, actually. And you talk to them about that. I have had issues in the past with students who have plagiarized, and when I failed them, they have told me that they did not know what plagiarism was. Plagiarism is you taking credit for someone else's work. Do not do that. Another thing regarding plagiarism and general research stuff, Wikipedia is not a source. In order to get source material for this research paper, I actually want you to use books. Fine, I get it. The internet is full of information, and sure, if you know how to cite online information, that is totally fine. But when I tell you that you are required to use multiple sources for this paper, they actually need to be books. I'm sorry that I have to be so hardline and so old-fashioned about that, but it's caused way too many issues in the past. Because basically, if you plagiarize, I know. And I know because it's obvious. It's just really, really, really obvious, and it's not worth you failing a college-level course for the sake of saving some time. You know? The rest of the stuff on the syllabus is pretty standard fare. I recommend reading through that at your leisure. And lastly, in the next 3 minutes, I want to go over our course schedule. Okay, so the course schedule, there it is. It's all there. You can see it, all 16 weeks. Spring break is not listed on here. Spring break is the week after our midterm exam. So between week 8 and 9 we have spring break. How this is structured, you can see highlighted on the left hand side is the week. There's no date on here. I don't put actual calendar dates on my schedules because I use them every subsequent semester, and that's too confusing for me. I tell you what the lecture is. Here today, this week, it's the introduction. I also tell you what your homework is. In this case, you're reading chapters 2 and 3 in this text, and you're also reviewing our course materials. Generally speaking, though, there are either 2 lectures or there's a lecture and a film. So for week 2, I'm lecturing on the Impressionists, the introduction to our course, and then there's a film for you to watch, the link to which is in the link library on Blackboard. Again, listed homework below. Week 3 is generally what our weeks are going to look like. So you can see week 3, this is the topic we're dealing with, new formulae for artists, that is. We have a quiz that week. That quiz is going to be on the first slide lecture. A little bit of a training to get up to speed. There are then 2 lectures. Lecture 1 is on chapter 4 in the text, and lecture 3, or 2 and 3 rather, excuse me, is on chapter 6. Now you can see that throughout the course of the semester, the lectures are all numbered in accordance with one massive thing. So when you go into Blackboard here, and you go over to the lectures, you're going to see lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3, lecture 4, as opposed to lecture 1 for week 2, lecture 3. It's really a lot easier to just do it that way. So that's why I did it that way. So for that week, quiz 1, a film, and then the reading. Other than that, just take this week to get settled into this course. Poke around on Blackboard a little bit, email me with some questions, and that's about it. I'm really looking forward to it, and voila, I'm at 15 minutes. So I'm going to say goodbye and see you next week. So let me know if you have questions. Welcome to class.